Thank you. Good afternoon. Do we still play applause at the beginning of the show? I don't think we do, so that sounds weird that I'm saying that. Okay, so welcome to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Sean Conroy. With me today on the show is the other host of the show, Amber Kenny is here.
Hello. Long time no see.
I'm adding in. Yes, it's been several weeks since we have gotten together. And here we are. And I guess I just want to start because I feel like we have to get past something. Address
a difficult conversation.
Well, almost address literally the elephant in the room in a sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's been a dark cloud over me the last several recording sessions, and I feel like things have lifted in a sense for me in terms of outlook. So I just want to be clear how I feel about this and let our viewers know, or our listeners, or however these people are absorbing this, whether it's through sound or light or magic, whatever it is.
Reading the transcript.
Right.
Which would be painful, I feel.
Oh, like. Absolutely. Almost a nightmare. Yeah. But I just want to say that I'm in a much better place in terms of the fact that Amber and I have agreed that we don't need to recap Brea every week. So
the long national nightmare is over.
Yeah. It was weighing heavily on me every week, and life is too short. We have to watch things we at least slightly enjoy. Yeah. I mean, I will say I got a lot of laughs out of that show.
Yes.
But for all the wrong reasons, and there are shows you can watch and get laughs out of for the right reasons.
Right.
It's kind of the way I have a friend. End of sentence. No, I have a friend who used to rave all the time about how much fun it was to watch that movie, The Room. Have you ever seen the movie, The Room?
I have.
I've never seen it. I've seen clips from it, but I've never watched the whole thing. I saw the crazy director guy he was at UCB Theater one time, and I don't even remember the circumstances.
Tommy
Wiseau, correct. They were interviewing him, and somebody was interviewing him, and they were showing clips from the film, and it did look absolutely hilariously bad, and I get that. But this guy had seen that movie 6 times, and
yeah,
and it just seemed to me at the time, I was like, I can't imagine putting myself through that, and yet here I was sitting down to watch Brea every week.
No, it would be. I would. I can't speak for you, but I'm sure it was something similar. I'd get stressed about having to watch it, or
Right. Well, there was a couple of issues. I think. I mean, I think we discussed this. It was that
we made it mandatory, and then it's not fun
it's
anymore.
Homework all of a sudden. Yeah, it's not a choice. It's you have to do this, and I feel like that always puts things in a different place mentally. All of a sudden, there's an obligation to watch this thing.
Right.
And on top of that, there was the element of what is happening right now? Now, I will say I am invested enough in the show that at some point I am going to watch the rest of it.
I think it might be a fun thing that we
do the end of the season or something.
The mandatory every week thing, I think is exhausting for everyone involved.
Right. Well, I mean, I will say our numbers went up 27%. So
no way.
People were tuning in. I have no idea.
Oh.
What are the numbers? What are the hits?
Yeah, and also you'd be and then what happened? I'm oh God, I don't know.
Very hard to remember. Yeah.
I don't.
But I find that to be true even on shows I like, because I do a lot of discussing of both episodes of shows and just pilots in my writing class. And even with shows I've watched a bunch of times, sometimes it's hard to go through moment by moment and remember what happened when and what happened next and all that stuff.
But I would argue that something that's a little bit well written, it's easier to do that because it's like
Absolutely.
a cause and effect situation and not just random things happening.
150 billion% correct, which is a lot of correct. It doesn't get any more correct than 150 billion%. Okay, so we have that out of the way. We always, and I'm sure there's people all over the place reading the transcript of this show right now and breathing a sigh of relief, going like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to."
No, my parents, like, they would be like, "Are you guys gonna really do that every?"
No, we're not. We are absolutely not.
It was nice to have something built in to talk. I will say this: it was nice to have something built in to talk about when things felt.
When both of us are just living humdrum lives, full of sound,
either that or like
fury and signifying nothing,
or just like hell is breaking loose in the world, and it's just like
something light and airy.
Yeah, it's something. It's
right.
It's getting us moving.
Instead of the demise of democracy, as Quint would say, we were able to talk about something that was completely inconsequential,
like mindless.
In every way. Yeah.
Don't you think that was part of it?
I think so. You're right. And I think that's why it's interesting because, or is it? I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think they're related? Our timing of
that things were so much worse, and then that's what we picked to talk about.
Well, and that the election turned out.
So we're like, now we can just talk about life in general.
Yeah. Like it's slightly less horrific than we expected, so we don't have to talk about that.
It's possible. But that's not even what I was going to say. What I was going to say is like, for me, because I think that is a thing.
Also, P.S. we are still spending the whole episode talking about Brea. We're just talking about not talking about Brea.
Yeah. Sorry, Amber's parents. You lose. No, I mean, that is the hook for so many podcasts is like, we're going to talk about pop culture. We're going to talk about, what's going on with the weekend, or whatever.
We tried to have a hook and we don't like it.
Yeah, it's not, I didn't enjoy it,
Whenever anyone finds out that I have a podcast, they're like, so what's it about? What are you guys talking about? And I'm like, it's really self-indulgent and we just talk about our lives, but we've been doing it for forever.
Sorry.
Right? Like that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes comedy and silly and sometimes storytelling and sometimes bits, but not always consistently. Yeah.
Sometimes it's dark. Sometimes it's not funny. Hopefully it's always honest. But yeah, I mean, and well, whatever. I was just going to make judgments about people, but I never do that. So, anyway, we're not going to talk about La Brea anymore. Although I will say the last couple of episodes have been amazing. Did you see the part where? No, I'm kidding.
I haven't. As soon as you're like, I don't think we should do that anymore. I was like, never going to watch the show again. But I probably
I didn't say I don't think we should do that anymore.
No, I know. You said that we're allowed to not.
I said we could decide not to, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I'm in. But again, we might revisit it at some point.
Yes.
I think it will be more joyful under less mandatory circumstances.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Hunger makes the best sauce.
And then it could be like, we could recap the whole second half of the season instead of being like, and then in the third scene, John went over there.
Well, and also it means because when you're going episode by episode, it's hard to have perspective on what the craziest shit is that happened, But like if we keep if we don't talk about it for a while, and then in 6 weeks we go, let's talk about the season finale and everything. Then it's like, remember that part where the guy was talking to his former patient in the field, and then the woman came over and was like, not only are you jabbering to no one right now, but I love you. Let's make out. Come back to my village with me.
I forgot that part. You're insane, and I'm in love with you.
Do you like my tattooed beard I have on my face? Do you find that attractive? So anyway, that is that, and this is this, and here we always sorry, I'm getting all these texts, which is annoying, and I can't.
Your phone's blowing up.
Yeah, I have to move this so I can't see it because it's too distracting. We always like to start the show with a segment that we call checking in. Checking in. So why don't we start today with Amber? Amber, we haven't seen each other in so long. What the fuck is up? What if we change the name of the show
to What the Fuck?
What the fuck is up?
With Mark Maron.
Oh, right. I forgot he already has that. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, you're big on changing things right now. You're in a transitional.
What if I go in that square?
Okay.
Oh, didn't really work.
Goes up. But yeah, I hinted at it. I have a feeling that you'll talk about it more, but the elections felt like a huge success by not being horrible. Like, because we were set up for such catastrophic disaster that it just maintaining was like, hallelujah. Even locally in LA, because I was like, okay, my council member, Mitchell Farrell, that I haven't cared for quite some time, he got voted out. We have a new guy. He's going to be good. The sheriff, who's villainous and criminal, he's out. But it looks
fucking guy, man, unbelievable.
But it looked like, especially at the beginning, like, but Rick Caruso's going to win mayor. Not great, not ideal.
Well, he seems cool.
He doesn't. But now it doesn't even. It looks like Karen Bass is going to win. So I'm like, wow, I needed to be even more optimistic than I was.
Yeah. See, I'm ashamed to say I've not been as up to date on local politics as I have on national politics, which is exactly the opposite of what you should be. I'm. That's good. That's good. I know what you're trying to articulate.
The transcript is like, excuse me.
I'm typing what she said. She just said I'm, and then in parentheses I wrote motions. Yeah, I'm bad. I mean, I do follow some local activists on Twitter, but for whatever reason, well, I mean, Twitter's a fucking mess right now.
Oh, it's so good. I forgot that's something else we could talk about.
So I have not been as completely updated on a regular basis on local stuff as I have on national stuff. But you're absolutely right. It's democracy came through. People came through. American people came through in the clutch when it mattered. And
it was Gen Z. It was the young people.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that's what the polls are showing.
It's actually not what the polls are showing. It's what people have decided to latch onto.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like less Gen Z voters, less youth vote came out in this election than did in the 2018 election.
Okay.
But whatever it was, it worked. So let the Gen Zers have their Gen Z moment.
Well, I saw an article today that was like, it's so dark. It's the darkest dark of dark, but it also probably is true that, and it's something I think we kind of joked about a while ago, but some people are positing that the Republicans aren't winning because too large of percentage of
died of COVID.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
I mean, I don't think that's the only reason, but I think there's definitely some places where that affected things, you know? who knows if we'll ever be able to figure out exactly the numbers, but.
Well, that's why I always thought it was such a strange strategy. Like, how are you going to get reelected if they all are dead? Like, what are you doing? I don't, even just on like a evil strategy way, like.
Well, and, yes, COVID was, going against vaccines and against masks and against even the very existence of something to be concerned about, which was 100% political.
Right.
Turned out to be a bad choice. Also, turns out maybe, I'm just, again, positing this, perhaps affiliating yourself with Donald Trump was a bad idea. Turns out he is not the political mastermind that he thought he was, thinks he is, still believes he is, I'm sure. I loved the clip, which I'm sure you saw, of him saying, I think if the Republicans win, I deserve all the credit, but if they don't, I should get none of the blame. And he wasn't even joking. Like, how do you say that and not have it be intended as a joke? It doesn't even make sense. It's
like something like Tracy Morgan would say on 30 Rock as like the most ridiculous thing a person could say.
Right.
And he means it earnestly.
And he's just completely straight-faced going, yep, this is how it is. And 40% of the Republican Party is like, he's right. He is absolutely right. But thank God it's only 40%,
Right.
It's funny too, because, or I don't know if it's funny or weird or bizarre. I don't know what the adjective
Notable.
is. Peculiar. Absurd. Strange.
Recognizable.
Have you ever seen a show called Brea? Okay.
Oh no. We're in the
no, but like
right now.
Like the idea. So there's all this stuff going on all over the country, right? And a lot of it is stuff that directly affects us. The Senate, the House of Representatives, those things are important to our lives, I believe. Whether there is a Republican Senate, Republican Congress, whatever. Those things felt important. But also, today I saw an MBNCP.
Sorry, transcribers.
That Kari Lake is going to lose the election for governor of Arizona. And I was like, fuck yeah. And like, why do I care who's the governor of Arizona?
Because my family lives there.
That's true. And also King Tut has a condo made of stona. Oh, no, sorry. He was born in Arizona, moved to Babylon. He doesn't live there anymore. He has his condo made of stone in Babylon. Nothing better than a 45-year-old Steve Martin reference. Look it up, youngsters. Find it on YouTube, Gen Z. Keep it in mind the next time you vote. But that's just funny to me that like all of these, and I'm like, I hope that motherfucker Mark Fincham doesn't win for Secretary of State in Arizona. Like, what does the state Secretary of State do? I don't know, but I don't want that motherfucker doing it.
And it's certainly not the state that you're living in. So even if Oh, with the Pennsylvania guy, that was kind of a cool story too.
Which story? Oh, Fetterman winning? Senator? Fetterman? Yeah, that's an interesting one because, first of all, the thing that he had a stroke for is the same problem that I have been treating for years.
Oh, really?
Medication. Yeah. He had an irregular heartbeat and he never did anything about it. He was told to take blood thinners and he didn't. And that's why he had a stroke, because he had a blood clot. So I guess I should start taking blood thinners. No, that is what I've been doing for almost 20 years now because of that same issue. But he had that debate, and everybody, like people I know who were 100% on his side, were like, that was a disaster. He should not have done that. But his numbers went up after that.
Right.
And people like doctors who know about that kind of ailment and who know people who have been afflicted by that stuff said he is literally having audio processing issues. It doesn't have anything to do with his ability to cognitively react to things or to process things in his brain and make decisions and all of that stuff. It's just that he has a hard time with the words and whatever. And there were a lot of people who completely ignored all of that and still are. I mean, not that this guy is an authority, but I saw, and he's just a good example of the stuff that you hear from the other side. I saw the son of the Trump guy, the same name. Yeah. He has these crazy videos that he puts out, and he really, that's the thing about a lot of those people, is they really revel in being as disgusting and awful as possible on a regular basis. Is like, what's the shittiest thing I can say? Oh, an 82-year-old man got his skull cracked in 2 places by a guy with a hammer. Let me make a joke about that. Which he did by picking out a Halloween costume. Hilarious. But he was on, some jag, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, talking about like, this guy's brain is mush. His brain is mush. They're just going to push him out, tell him what to do, when to raise his hand. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have to, because that's how they do it. The Democrats, his brain is mush. And it's like, it's actually not true, Right. But I'm sure there's a whole segment of the population that, because of the way he spoke, are not able. You could make the argument that they're the ones with the damaged cognitive process, because they're not able to separate his presentation from what's actually going on with that.
Right.
So that was good that he won over
Dr. Oz. What a bizarre race that was. Anyway.
So weird. Yeah. Can I do a thing from my stand-up act that I've been doing recently? Because I feel like it's not that funny, and it's not going to go anywhere.
You're selling it.
I'm not going to keep doing it for a while.
Oh. I thought you meant it's not that funny for here. I'm like,
it's not that funny for here. That is what I meant.
Okay.
But, well, I'll do it first, and then I'll explain why I think it's okay. It's okay to do this on stage, even though it's not that funny.
Okay.
This is what I would do. I've done it a couple times because we'll get to my whole thing in a minute, but let's talk about what's going on with you. I'll do this. No, I'll do it now.
Oh my God, what is happening?
This is one of the things I've been saying on stage. I was like, I would like to go. I wish time travel was still real, because I would like
talking about La Brea again?
No, that's right. I would like to go to 10,000 BC, where there were camels and woolly rhinoceroses. No, I wish time travel was real, because what I would like to set up, I wouldn't want to go kill Hitler or grill a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, I know those are the things people always say, like barbecued Rex burgers, whatever. But what I would like to do is travel to a far off land, like as far away from where I am now as possible. Maybe go to, I don't know, Australia, let's say. I'd want to go to Australia. And I would want to watch a movie that was shot in black and white and in color with a failed Senate candidate, and set it up so that the successful Senate candidate was on an old talk show, making an announcement of some sort for people who are traveling by plane. I guess what I'm really saying is, I would like to go to Oz and watch The Wizard of Oz with Dr. Oz while Fetterman was on Letterman doing a PSA for the TSA.
Oh my God.
It's not a joke, really. I don't know. There's something about it that really made me laugh when I was sitting here writing that for 11 hours, It makes me think of talking about going way back. Do you remember there was like an old Danny Kaye movie. I think it was called The Court Jester. Did you ever see that?
I've seen clips. I watch a lot of those, like, That's Entertainment.
Right. And it was basically him doing shit like that the whole time. Like it was like him going very... like, put the pestle with the messel in the like it was just all tongue twisters. I don't know. There was something funny about that to me. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that Fetterman rhymed with Letterman, and then I was like, can I do something with that? Anyway, I'm available for corporate work and cruises, folks.
You should start all of your jokes with, this isn't funny. That's a great way to start.
I don't like what that guy's joking about, but he's telling the truth. He's
so honest.
He's really honest on stage. Yes, go ahead.
But what's going on with me? Friday night, I went to a concert. I don't remember the last time I went to a concert. It's been a very long time. And I went and saw Harry Styles at the Forum.
Oh, boy.
I went with my good friend, Barbara. And it was a lot of... Yes, you do. It was a lot of fun. It was wild. I mean, the Forum, it was packed. He's doing like a mini residency. He's here for about 2 weeks.
Is this thing called Harry's House? Is that the... Yeah. I saw like a photo of it or something, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I was like, it has to be... Like there was a sign that just said Harry's House, and I was like, I don't know where that is, but it has to be related to him.
But I like Harry Styles. I've enjoyed his 3 albums. I listened to them quite a bit. I guess you could say I'm a fan, but like I was even hesitant to use the word fan just now because Barbara and I were laughing because she's the same. She loves Harry Styles. Like that's why she asked me to go with her. And we were probably the least big Harry Styles fans.
People were losing their fucking minds.
We were sandwiched between like 14-year-old girls. Somehow we both ended up who were just screaming every lyric as though Harry Styles was the only person who's ever understood them their whole life.
But I feel like that's the nature of pop music, right? It's the Beatles, but 60 years later or whatever.
Right. And that's also what's funny is his music. Like if you just listen to his music, even at the concert, I was like, the fan base and the music don't match. Like it's like adult contemporary. Like it's just like Paul McCartney, like mellow.
It's funny because I literally could not name a Harry Styles song. Like I don't know any of them, but now I feel like I have to listen to some to just see.
I'll send you some that I think that you will like. But like the girl behind us, her name was Amber. That was the other funny thing. She kept being like Amber. And I was like this is gonna be all night. But I think she was a huge fan. I think this was her first concert. And so like the opening act ended and they're like, and I was like, it's gonna like be a second. And then they're like, okay, like it's 9:00. Do you think that they were like free? I was like, he's gonna come out. Don't worry about that. The show will happen. You don't need to stress out about that. He's very charming. He about 1 million times said, hello, Los Angeles. It made me laugh because I think he lives here. Like, there's no way you say it like that every time. Like, there's just no way.
By the way, can I tell you what makes me laugh about that? That's exactly how my mother says Los Angeles every time. Really? Yes. Los Angeles? My mother and Harry Styles are sort of the same,
I love that.
Hello, Los Angeles. Yes, Mom. What's up?
And he does like really fun crowd work. He did a gender reveal for somebody in the crowd. It was fun. It was short, I think, because it's such a young audience.
Right.
And Barbara made me laugh. She's like, I can't wait to go home and listen to his music when I can hear him sing. she's like, we should make a rule where everyone's quiet for one of them. You know, like.
What were there a lot of parents there? Like they're 14-year-old girls, are they just there by themselves?
There were parents there. There were a lot of parents there. It ran the gamut of ages and
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if I was
there was definitely some dads, like, and moms, and that was very cute. But there was also like a big contingency. There kept being things that happened that Barbara and I'd be like, what do you think that means? Like, we felt like anthropologists because there was a lot of groups of girls wearing cowboy hats. Like colorful, stupid cowboy hats, like bright purple or bright pink. And I was like, I don't remember that being a Harry Styles thing, but maybe maybe I'm not remembering that phase. Because a lot of people wear boas. That's an easy thing because Harry went through a big boa phase last album.
Sure. No, I remember.
But yeah, the cowboy hats, I didn't get it. I also said to Barbara, I was like, it just looks like a convention of bachelorette parties. Like, it looks like 1,000 bachelorette parties.
Did he ever go through a wearing a dildo on his head phase at all? Because that's a big
not that I recall. Not that I recall. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was you know, I'm about to turn 40 and I'm just like rocking out between two 14-year-old girls. It was like, part of me was like laughing at myself of like, this is so silly, but I'm also allowed to be here and enjoy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have not been to a concert either in a long time, but I saw that, and I didn't go, of course, but Cypress Hill was playing at the Palladium recently. And I was like, I kind of want to go to that, but I would definitely be the only.
But not necessarily.
No, I mean, I guess those guys are a little old school. But I mean, I can remember going to see a show. This was in the early 90s. I went to see the greatest rap show ever at Madison Square Garden. And it was like, I'm trying to think of who it was. It was like Black Sheep and Naughty. It was like right before Naughty by Nature blew up, like before they had done OPP. And, it was Kid and Play got booed off stage. They literally got booed off stage, which was so funny.
Oh my God.
And Public Enemy was the closer. And so my friend Dave and I went, and this was 93, I think. And I'm sure we were not the only white guys there, but there were very few, you know. I had been to see the Beastie Boys and Run DMC like 6 years before that.
But that was a very
demo. Crowd, you know. But this was and they had banned rap at Madison Square Garden after Run DMC and the Beastie Boys were there. And this was like the first time they were doing rap again before it was hip hop. But anyway, I was there with my friend, and the two of us, so early 90s, of course, we're both wearing like jeans and flannel shirts and like trucker caps, you know? And all of a sudden I hear just from like a little ways down the row or whatever, I hear Mr. Conroy. And it was one of my students from the junior high school I was teaching at who was there with her mother.
Oh my God.
So there was my friend and I just going like, hey, how's it going? We just came out to check out the rap music. How you doing?
I know.
You're here with Saray. Nice to see you. Glad you guys having fun? Yeah, this is great, huh? Such a nice time. But yeah, I feel like, so what? Who cares? You know,
right,
if you like
the
music, you like the music, you know?
But there'd be things that happen like between songs, like people would cheer, but then it would go. Again, the Forum's a very big venue, so it's hard to recreate as one person because what was notable about it is an entire stadium of people are doing it. But it was like, whoop, 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 whoop. Like that was the sound. And I was like, Barbara, is that what people do at concerts now? Or is that like a Harry Styles specific thing? Like
you never heard his whoop, 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 whoop album?
And then at one point,
he went through a Three Stooges phase for a while.
They all were chanting medicine. And that is from one of his songs, but he also recently had the flu. So like I kept guessing like why they were chanting medicine, and Barbara was cracking up.
Was you know who there?
Olivia?
No, I was gonna say Jason Sudeikis.
I don't think Jason Sudeikis was there, no. That would be interesting. That would be notable. I don't think that he's gonna.
Dare you eat that salad dressing? That was a whole thing.
But yeah, that's my checking in.
Did you get like a souvenir or anything like that?
No, I'm not like a big souvenir person. Barbara went to look at the merch, but there was like pretty long lines. She got we were there night 9, and so she got a button. Someone just handed it to her for free that said night 9. And that, like, perfect. That gets the job done.
Right. She can just put that in her button collection, and then she'll always know that that's where that came from. You know?
Los Angeles.
What's this one? JFK? Oh, that's from when JFK ran for president.
And we had seats in the forum, but the whole bottom floor, it's just
no chairs,
and it's just a mass of people. And she's like, I wanted us to like have a seat, and but then when we were watching, we're like, damn, we wish we were down there, because you could get really really close to him, but B, like at some of the like fun party songs, like people were just like line dancing or doing a conga line. It was like, that looks fun. Meanwhile, I'm trying not to hit the 14-year-old next to me, you know. But yeah, I
get it, but I also feel like that's where bad things happen at concerts, you know, when there's no
and I'm sure at some point I'll be like, I'd like to sit down, you know.
I can remember going a few years ago to a concert with somebody because they wanted to go to this concert, and I was like, okay, we can go. I say concert. It was like it's a place called the Glass House out in.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big. It's like venue.
Past like Altadena,
it's way the fuck out somewhere near Pomona or something.
Yes, that's what I meant. I always can like. Yeah.
Right. I don't know anything. But yeah, I think it is actually in Pomona, maybe. But you know, probably 500 people or something, like 700 people, something like that. And we were on the floor with hundreds of people. I was way older than everybody there.
And you're tall too.
And I'm gigantic. And I was like, get the fuck off me. Like I felt so oppressed the entire time because people were just like, it wasn't like a mosh pit or anything, but people were just pushing and shoving the entire time. And I was like, do you really want me to push you back? Because I will. I didn't, but I will.
Fly across the room.
I'm bigger than you, you know. So I think it's good to have seats.
Yeah. So that was my checking in. What's going on with you? We already heard your joke, so we're good.
I'm trying to.
Not funny joke.
I would like to make that even longer. I would like to make that like
you should, like the whole set.
Well, the president was a resident in the, you know.
Right.
It's so, I don't know. They just tongue twisters make me laugh. What can I say?
Well, I guess the thing is, because it's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you're not going to like laugh out loud because there's like a twist of the joke. It's more like amusement because it takes so much thought to have it so like rhymed. And
as I'm saying this, I feel like the 2 times I did it, well, you're right. The first part is you're saying all this stuff like, I want to go to a far off land and whatever, and a failed senator, and people are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like,
yeah,
whatever.
And so you're just like laughing like, oh, okay, this was actually going somewhere he's not a
and then it all comes together. But I feel like both times I did it, it got some not really big laughs, obviously, because there's no real punchline, but it definitely got a round of applause both times.
That's what I mean. Like it's like a spectacle.
He pulled it off.
Yeah. It's like a kick line or something.
Right. So, and that's not nothing, you're supposed to entertain people. And if you entertain them enough that they feel like you deserve applause, that's
you did something. Yeah.
Something.
That's what I'm saying. It's more an achievement than a joke.
Right.
And I mean that in the nicest possible way. Like it's like a craft.
And I'm not above achievements, Yeah,
no, we all want achievements.
I'm fine with that. I don't know. What do I have for this?
You were like, I have so much to talk about with.
No. What I said was I have a lot to complain about, and I don't want to spend all my time complaining. That's a different issue. I did do several shows this week, both stand-up and improv. So that was fun. But I guess here's one thing I did this week, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's funny or weird or interesting or, I don't know, strange, peculiar. I
could smell that Jeff made popcorn, and it's like torture. Nice. Anyway.
Nice. I got a call or an email, or was it? Just kidding.
Text.
Yeah. Somebody was in town that I've worked with, like a producer who I don't really know that well, was in town and was like, let's get together. Let's, do like have a drink or get dinner or whatever. And I was like, great, let's do that. And because, this business is all about relationships. So you want to pursue relationships with people and always, whatever. And this is somebody that I've developed a couple things with, although nothing that's ever actually done anything, but I've worked with them a lot. So it's somebody who I think knows enough about me to know where I'm coming from and what I'm capable of,
Well, and they clearly like working with you if they've done it more than once.
Right. And they were like, oh, I'm here for this conference and they're having a cocktail party. So why don't you come to the cocktail party for the conference?
No, thank you.
And I was like, all right. And then we can go get, and I was like, okay. So I went to this place, which actually turned out to be a hotel where they were staying. Everybody from the conference was staying at this hotel. And it's literally a place I've driven by a million times without ever really knowing what it was or going in or whatever. And it's actually kind of fancy and cool. Like I went in there and there was like a bunch of different pools at different levels and hot tubs. Like I was like, holy shit, this is like the stuff that people think of when they think of LA.
What hotel? Are you not allowed to say?
I legally I can't disclose. No, I don't. I honestly don't remember the name of it.
Where
it's over in North Hollywood.
Oh.
And anyway, so I go. We wander in through all these. Like I would have been totally. I would have never found my way out of there if I had not been with this person. We go to this cocktail party, and there's another like producer there. This producer does not live in LA. That's why it was a big deal to be there. And, right. But they're like, oh, there's this other producer there that I really want you to meet. And like, I think you two could really hit it off and do stuff together. And that would be great. And, whatever. And I'm like, this is why I'm here. Great. Let's
make some money.
Yeah. So, but that's the problem is like, then we go into this cocktail party and the one who I know is like, this is the guy I've been telling you about. This guy, I told you all those things about him and all these things about him and you guys, whatever. And then I'm like, well, okay, now what do I do? And then it's just like
pitch from the beginning, or do you just be a person?
It's like, so you're from this place and you live in this part of town and mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Playa del Rey is nice. Yeah, that's cool. I don't hang out there a lot, but I love going to the beach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the step is. I don't know what the move is to go from like, I've told you so much about this mm-hmm. guy to
close your eyes.
Here's the idea.
Lights up.
Yeah. Right. We're in a small town. The apocalypse has just happened. These people are in the attic, but they have lots of canned food and weapons. So anyway, it was really nice of this person to do that, but I'm like, I don't know how to behave this way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Does anyone?
I think some people do. I don't know who, and I guess I should talk to them. Mm-hmm. But whatever. So then we hung out with that person for a while. Then we actually went and just got dinner in the restaurant at the hotel, which was great. And then we saw the other producer as we were leaving, and they were like, "Oh, we should definitely be in touch. We should." I was like, "Great, let's be in touch." Like, okay. All right, let's go to Playa del Rey together. But it's all a fucking game. And I feel like there are people who are just way better at it than I am, So anyway, that was an exciting thing that happened this week.
That's very LA. It's very
totally. And I will say the best thing about the night was the Brussels sprouts we had as an appetizer in the hotel, because they were. Do you like Brussels sprouts?
I love Brussels sprouts
fans. They're good, right? Like, I make Brussels sprouts myself sometimes. Mm-hmm. They're really good. Like, I make them with balsamic vinegar and walnuts and, cast iron pan, the whole thing. Love them. This was like cranberries and pumpkin seeds and
very autumnal
honey or something in there, but so good. So anyway, folks, I'm saying Google Brussels sprouts recipes, and you'll be in for some surprises. All right. Well, I think maybe it's a good place to do parting shots. What do you think about that?
I love that.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we start with? Let's start today with Joe. Oh no, we can't. It's not here. Let's start today with Amber. Parting shots.
Yeah. It is Monday, but yesterday I had to work an event for work that was a influencer event for our preschool show. So it was like a lot of. It was a very LA experience, kind of like what you're talking about, but on another side of it. But yeah, it was a lot of
working with the preschool kids.
No. I was just taking pictures of them, but a lot of adorable. Like, the kids are kids; they're cute kids, but I don't know. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm not over it. Like, just like the parents coming and they're all dressed the same. Like, you could tell, like, they're just permanently Instagram ready. I had to get some sound
bites. The parents are.
And the kids. Like, it's like a matching family situation. The kids are all very media savvy in the sense that, like, I'll have the family, like, say, like, hi. And they like go into formation, and like, it's strange. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't care for it.
Yeah, I don't care for it either. I don't care for it. But so that's what I was gonna say. It was this. I kept laughing at everything, but I don't know if it was supposed to be funny. But it was this like Hollywood event. So there was like people like passing around hors d'oeuvres, but they would literally be ants on a log. There were so many little kids there, like a piece of celery with peanut butter and raisins on it. Because it had to appeal to little kids. I don't know. I just thought that was very funny. I've never seen ants on a log served on a silver platter before.
You were thinking it should be like shrimp cocktail.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about
miniature croque monsieur.
Yeah, I think they had some of that too, but yeah.
Artichoke and salmon in a puff pastry.
But yeah, it's weird when people monetize the cuteness of their children. It's just
Have
weird.
you ever seen, I've seen this a couple times on, I don't know if it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever, probably Instagram, because sometimes I'll get locked into Instagram Reels and just be scrolling through random.
That's what they're hoping that you do.
They got me. But there's a little kid on there, a little girl. I don't know what her name is. And I have very mixed feelings because she really does make me laugh because she's like a little old lady, basically. And she's so unself-conscious. And both her mother and her father film her and ask her questions and stuff. And she's like so sure of herself in every answer that she gives. And it is really fucking funny. And I'm like, I should follow this because it makes me laugh. But I don't want to follow it because I don't want to encourage the parents to be doing this,
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Maybe I will follow her because what difference does it make if I do it?
Sure. It's better than La Brea.
Way better. Okay, speaking of La Brea, I would recommend that people watch this week's episode because I'm just going to recommend a different show that I have been enjoying, I think just for the last 2 days. This is the problem with these shows is they put all of them out at once. And if I like it, I'm like, I just want to watch the whole thing kind of, which again is sort of like Instagram where like, that's what they want you to do. But the show is called The English. Have you heard of this?
No.
It is on Amazon Prime. It is a Western which stars Emily Blunt, who is awesome in this. She's great. Like, I think she's great in a lot of things. Like, I was trying to think. I don't know all of her, like everything she's ever done, but like
The Devil Wears Prada.
Never saw it.
Oh, you have to. It's very good. It's Meryl Streep and Emily Blunt. Like,
is she I thought that was
and Anne Hathaway, who's also very good.
Yeah, that's who I think.
And Tucci, the Tooch, Stanley Tucci.
Tucci. No, when I think of Emily Blunt, I think of the movie Sicario. Did you ever see Sicario?
I don't think so. Wait, is that the one that has multiple names?
No, it's just called Sicario. There's a sequel that was called like Sicario Day of the Soldad or something like that, but she was not in the sequel. I don't think anybody. Well, not Guillermo del Toro. Benicio del Toro was in the
sequel.
Yeah. Anyway, she's great in that. She plays like some kind of federal agent or something, and it's just a very intense, scary thriller movie. And
I'm thinking of like Tomorrow Never Comes.
Yes,
it has
that's the other one I was going to mention.
But it has like
Edge
names.
of Tomorrow, which I think I was thinking about that today. Was there a time when it was called Die, Rinse, Repeat or something like that?
Yes, it definitely had two different names.
It was called Die, Rinse, Repeat, and now it's just called Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she's great in that too. She's a total badass. That's a Tom Cruise movie, and Tom Cruise is great in that, but she is awesome. Anyway,
I tried watching that when I was recovering from surgery, and so I was on a lot of pain medication, so I kept falling asleep, and then I'd be like, wait, I already saw this part, because it's like the Groundhog's Day effect.
They do such a great job with that, though.
It was so confusing, though, like on drugs.
But they do it really well. Like if you're not on painkillers, the way they replay the same beats over and over again, but slightly differently, or like with a different perspective or whatever.
I rewatched it from like top to bottom, and I enjoyed it very much.
It's really, really
but it was very frustrating on pills. I
get it. I mean, a lot of things are. That's the weird thing about those pills. Problem. They make you feel great, but then it makes it more difficult to do other things.
Right.
And that's the whole border crisis with the fentanyl and all that stuff. But you got to be careful.
Disagree.
By the way, whatever, who cares? But I just saw that Tulsi Gabbard was sitting in to host Tucker Carlson's show this evening. Yeah, she's not cool. She's not cool. So, anyway, I highly recommend the English. And I don't even want to give anything away about it, but it's like 6 or 8 episodes. I can't remember, and I'm on like episode 3 or 4, and it's a revenge story. I'll say that it's a revenge story, and it's really good. Highly recommend. And it's funny because just literally like 4 days ago, I had the thought, which I occasionally have, of like, I would love to watch a good Western right now.
Oh, look at you! You manifested it.
Holy shit! It's that thing of like, you put it out into the universe, and then it comes to you. You know, mm-hmm. What is it called? The Secret. I'm living by The Secret. And I got what I wanted. I just said, like, I would like to have a Western, and all of a sudden there it was. It's like Oprah's right, you know. Just put it out there, and if you don't put it out there, nobody's going to know that that's what you want.
All right, well, smash that like
button. Ring the bell, like and surprise. Alleviate everything. I don't know. That's our episode, folks. We are The Long Shot. We will see you next time. Thanks for listening or watching or reading the transcript.
Yeah. And good luck. And I'm so sorry. Remember when I did Airplane Arms, that one episode?
I do remember that. And
10 years ago.
And I don't remember. I remember that I did not really participate, and it didn't make sense to me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Of a million people fainting, and some evil doer tainting everything that is alive. And I forgot the point of cursing, and I'm no good at conversing. If my condition ever worsens, then I'll probably not survive. And if you leave, darling, if you ever split, well, I'll give a damn, hell, I'll even give a shit. And I'm gonna worry, 'cause there's nothing left to do. Oh, and babe, I'm gonna cry all over you. Yes, and babe, I'm gonna cry. Oh, and babe, I'm gonna cry. Yes, and babe, I'm gonna cry all over you.